The next, which is our final question, although I hope to have a couple of minutes of discussion on some of the previous questions, is so large that I have to paste it in 2 sections. So here we go. So the TRCA presented the Rockcliffe Riverine Flood Mitigation Project Municipal Class Environmental Assessment to the public recently. The residents and the park users west of Jane Street were outraged because to many, all 3 options presented would just destroy the park. The TRCA said that the first option would be the best for the park, which was do nothing. The flooding is extreme and without protection puts residents and park users' health and safety at risk. As mentioned before, the water is primarily sewage and salt. The animals, plants, and the state of ponds have suffered greatly from the flooding. The other 2 options include building another larger cement encasement that would affect the baseball fields, possibly remove the pool, and destroy half the wildlife sanctuary. The federal government announced, as Nikki brought up previously, that they will commit $19 million to build a bridge at Jane Street, which will allow more water to move faster onto the land west of Jane, but they're not increasing the exit area for the water at the Scarlett Road bridge, which currently cannot handle all of the water during the most intense rainfalls. This plan means worse flooding in the Smythe Park area. So, how will you, if elected, provide more funding to help move all the water there all the way to the Humber, which is only 600 meters away from Smythe Park?
Right in. There are a lot of false, there's a false proposition here that's been presented by the TRCA. Would you like A, B, or C? And A, B, and C are all unacceptable. And the thinking is that we have to take A, B, and C. And the fact of the matter is, we don't. We don't have to do that, nor should we. I'm also going to make a small correction. This was the fund that's been applied for is part of the Disaster Mitigation Fund. And the way it works is the City of Toronto or another body applies for the funding through the Minister for Infrastructure, and that's matched funds. So the City of Toronto puts up $28.5 million to fix the bridge. It's about fixing the bridge, not about the flood. And then they go and say, hey, it will also fix the flood. And they get an extra 19 million, not from Mr. Hassan, but actually from Catherine McKenna, former Minister for the Environment and current Minister for the Infrastructure. And so even in this, it's not accurate to say that this was a federally led initiative. Locally driven by local needs. The City of Toronto, John Tory, did a pretty good job of finding 28.5 and then getting match funds from the federal government. So that's the truth of the situation. The second part of it is that, and I've done a review of the area, and I'm capable of, I'm not an engineer, but I'm capable of reading site plans and architectural designs and engineering evaluations. This is the area that we're talking about right here. Okay, this is Black Creek Drive, coming right down here, Black Creek, and this is the Humber River. What you will notice is that the 2 river sources connect with each other. And what's been explained to me is that the source upstream, let's say we have a storm in the north, the water travels down these courses at different rates and in different volumes. And one course has come down through here and yes, gets stuck at the junction of Jane and the Black Creek. And then a few hours later, another surge comes down and the water reverses course. It does not go trickle, trickle all the way down. It comes down here, it fills up and it backs up. And so it's the first, this is great that we're going to get a new bridge at Jane, but the fact of the matter is this isn't even a Band-Aid solution, because the first thing that happens when they try to make the bridge wider is they make it narrower for all the equipment that goes in there. It's just like a road widening scheme always makes the road narrower for a while. So this solution does not work. And that's really, I think, from the short version of what's been said here is that it's a false proposition. A, B, and C are all acceptable. And this solution here, which is city funded, not federally funded, is important, but won't fix the problem at all. Again, that's why we need somebody, to be fair, I mean, someone like me to go in there and maybe shake the cage a little bit. This isn't a policy issue. This is about getting in front of people's grill and making some changes.